Ethan Cole was used to fire, not the kind that burns buildings, but the kind that burns your soul. After losing his wife in a car accident 2 years ago, the single father had spent every waking moment raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, while working odd jobs to make ends meet. He was once a proud construction supervisor, but after a mass layoff, his career had vanished overnight. And the person who had signed those layoff papers, the one who'd ordered hundreds of workers fired without warning, was none other than Amelia Voss, the ruthless CEO of Voss Industries. He remembered her face well, sharp, distant, untouchable. The media called her the Iron Flame. Her employees had other names, none kind. Now, 2 years later, Ethan worked as a volunteer firefighter in his small town. He didn't chase glory, he just needed purpose. That night, when the call came in, mansion fire on Hillcrest Drive, he didn't hesitate. He didn't know whose house it was. He just knew there were lives at stake. The flames were monstrous, feeding on the wind. Ethan charged in through the back entrance with his gear, shouting, "Fire department. Anyone inside?" Then he heard it, a faint cough, somewhere upstairs. He ran toward the sound, his boots crunching over glass, smoke clawing at his lungs. In the master bedroom, he saw her, a woman curled on the floor beside a toppled candle, her hand bleeding, the curtains ablaze. He threw his jacket over her, dragged her out just before the roof caved in. Outside, as medics rushed to help, the truth struck like lightning. The woman he'd just saved was Amelia Voss. The same woman who'd once looked at him like dirt beneath her heels. But now, she was broken. Trembling. Whispering something he almost didn't catch. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." Before he could ask what she meant, she lost consciousness. The reporters would later call it an accidental fire caused by a power surge. But Ethan saw the half-empty gasoline can by the garage. He knew better. And the worst part? He couldn't bring himself to hate her. Amelia Voss woke up in a hospital bed 3 days later. The world saw her as the survivor of a tragic accident. But inside, she knew she was the cause. Her company was crumbling under scandal. She had signed contracts that ruined small businesses, people like Ethan. Her board had turned against her. The media shredded her reputation. And in a moment of despair, she'd done the unthinkable, she lit the fire herself. But she hadn't planned on surviving it. When the nurse told her the man who'd saved her was a volunteer firefighter named Ethan Cole, something inside her froze. "Ethan Cole," she whispered, her eyes widening. "It couldn't be." She asked to meet him. He arrived later that evening, still in his worn jacket, ice-tired but kind. "Didn't expect to see you like this," he said softly. Amelia tried to smile, but it came out as a trembling apology. "I remember you. You worked for us, before you fired half the city," he said, not cruelly, but honestly. Silence hung between them like smoke that refused to clear. Then she did something he didn't expect, she cried. "I deserve everything that's happened. You shouldn't have saved me." Ethan took a deep breath, glancing toward the window where city lights shimmered like embers in the dark. "Maybe. But I don't get to choose who I save. Fire doesn't care who you are, neither should I." That moment broke something inside her, the walls she'd built, the armor she wore. In the weeks that followed, Amelia tried to rebuild her life. Ethan checked in on her, at first out of duty, then out of something deeper. Lily, his daughter, took a liking to Amelia, drawing her crayon pictures of flowers and hearts. Slowly, Amelia found herself visiting their small home by the lake, baking with Lily, helping her with school projects. The woman who once lived in a penthouse now found peace in a kitchen that smelled like cinnamon and hope. But the past doesn't stay buried. When investors learned she'd caused the fire herself, the media erupted again. Ethan's friends urged him to stay away. "She's bad news," they warned. Yet he couldn't. Because behind her guilt, he saw something real, a woman who wanted redemption, not sympathy. One rainy night, Amelia broke down on his porch. "I lost everything, Ethan. I don't even know who I am anymore." He stepped closer, his voice steady. "You're someone who can start over. And maybe that's all any of us can do." They stood in silence, the rain washing away the last ashes of their past. And as the storm faded, so did the fire that once defined them both.